We'll just close our eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just become aware of ourselves, aware of what we are perceiving, what we're experiencing in our body, what we're feeling. And slowly, we're going to zoom out of the thoughts that have been occupying our mind and come to a place that is more open, a place that is more deeply rooted in whatever it is that's observing. So when we're in our thoughts, the observer is covered in whatever is happening inside our thoughts. It's like a dress for someone or something. And we want to come back to a place that's more quiet. And that place is more deeply rooted in the observer. This place, it brings us closer to a meditative state. A meditative state was called, in the ancient world, the world of seclusion, where we remove ourselves from all the perceptions of the physical senses, and we merge with our essence, which is interacting with itself constantly. When we're interacting with the external world, we're also just interacting with ourselves. The external world within our experience is only an appearance, because when we are observing our eyeballs, that's an experience of observing the self. And yet, when there is information being mirrored in our eyeballs, we experience that as looking outside of ourselves. So the essence of all experience is an interaction with the self. The same goes for all the senses. We can only observe the sense organs. We can't really observe what is going on beyond them, but as they interact with the external environment and we observe them, we gain information about the external environment. But that's information. The direct interaction is between one and the self. But as we move back from the world of the senses, this realization becomes more apparent. It becomes more obvious that the one that is observing and the one that's being observed is one and the same. And yet there is an experience as that is happening. As the observer is observing himself, he is experiencing himself based on the observation, based on whatever perception it gives rise to. This realization is the key to gaining access to the spiritual worlds. The spiritual worlds are the worlds of spirit. The spirit is the one that's observing. The spirit is the one that's being observed. And so the spiritual realms are realms within which the observer can observe himself. All the forms of travel that we can do in the spiritual realms indicate a different location in perception of how one is being experienced by himself. In the lower realms, the one that is being experienced doesn't necessarily feel valued. And so the experience is of a lower quality. And the higher we go in the realms of the spiritual, the more the one that's observing feels privileged to observe and be himself. And that culminates in the ultimate experience of unity with the divine, where the value is infinite, where the value is as immense as all of existence combined. And the opposite extreme are the levels of hell, where the spiritual experiences of one observing himself as valueless or even offensive, shameful, guilty. And that culminates in the other extreme, which is the evil force itself, the force that counteracts the value of the divine, the force that devalues and pulls down in the spiritual realms. It tries to bring the observers, the souls and the spirits, to an experience of valuelessness, disgrace, shameful, humiliated. And so between these two extremes are all the worlds that exist, all the spiritual worlds that have been described by all the different religions reside somewhere within these two extremes. And through the world of the senses, we're constantly navigating in the spiritual realms. It's not only spiritual people who navigate the spiritual realms, it's spiritual people who are aware that they are navigating the spiritual realms, and it's spiritual people who have the capacity to direct themselves in those realms. But everyone is having a spiritual experience, even while they're completely immersed in the physical, because there's still a self perceiving itself. And that, by definition, is a spiritual experience. And so this is the observation that I wanted to bring to your attention before we can speak about the spiritual. This is something that needs to be observed through direct experience. And obviously, even in this observation, there are so many layers. In every spiritual realm, this observation will be perceived differently. And so, everyone according to their level, as they go inward into the world of seclusion meaning separating themselves from the illusion that they're interacting with anything that is outside of themselves. In that world of seclusion, they are awakening the spiritual force that is always alive within them.